Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a basketball fan, you've probably heard the buzz, or should I say, the deafening silence, surrounding the WNBA lately. Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest stories in women's sports.
Great to be here with you guys today. Is there any chance that the WNBA, that Kathy Engelbert saw some of the ratings that I'm about to show you now and said, hey, Indiana Fever, can you do us a favor? Can you do us a solid? Can you just tease a Caitlin Clark return, kind of boost these up a little bit?
How the WNBA is facing instant regret as viewership numbers crash and burn without their superstar, Caitlin Clark. That's right. The league that rode the wave of Clark's unprecedented popularity is now sinking fast in her absence due to injury. We'll break down the stats, the drama, and why this could be a wake-up call for the entire WNBA. If you love hard-hitting sports analysis, hit that like button right now, subscribe for more content like this, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. Let's start from the beginning to understand just how massive Caitlin Clark's impact has been on the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, the former Iowa Hawkeye sensation, burst onto the professional scene in 2024 as the #1 overall draft pick for the Indiana Fever.
Can you just dangle a Caitlin Clark return in front of the fans' faces, try to boost these ratings up a little bit? There was one matchup that this league can consistently rely on to produce massive viewership numbers. One matchup.
Her college career was legendary. She shattered scoring records, drew massive crowds, and turned women's college basketball into must-watch TV. When she transitioned to the WNBA, she brought that star power with her, and the league saw an explosion in interest. In her rookie year, games featuring Clark averaged millions of viewers, shattering previous records. The Caitlin Clark effect wasn't just hype. It was real, measurable growth for a league that had struggled with visibility for decades.
Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the league's two most noticeable names on the court at the same time. In fact, they relied so heavily on this matchup, they put these two teams against each other 5 times this season. But what the league didn't see coming was that if you fail to protect your stars...
Fast forward to 2025, Clark's second season. She's not just performing, she's dominating. Averaging over 20 points per game, dishing out assists like candy, and drawing sold-out arenas wherever the Fever play. Nationally televised games skyrocketed in ratings, with some matchups pulling in numbers that rivaled NBA games. But then, disaster struck. In early June 2025, Clark suffered an injury. Details point to a nagging ankle issue exacerbated by the league's physical style of play that sidelined her indefinitely. And just like that, the WNBA's golden goose was out of commission. Now, here's where the instant regret kicks in. Without Clark on the court, viewership has absolutely plummeted. According to Nielsen ratings, nationally televised WNBA games are down a staggering 55% since her injury. That's not a dip, that's a freefall. Indiana Fever games, which were the hottest ticket in the league, have seen their national TV audiences drop by 53%. Imagine building your entire brand around one player and then watching the house of cards collapse when she's not there. The WNBA commissioner and team executives must be kicking themselves right now, wondering how they let this happen. But let's dig deeper into the numbers to see just how bad it is.
Caitlin Clark, if you fail to protect your stars, sometimes they might not be around all the time. Sometimes they might get nicked up. Sometimes they might get dinged up. And sometimes they might get a soft tissue injury that takes weeks, if not months, to correctly heal. And that's the predicament the WNBA now finds themselves in. Caitlin Clark has been out a month and 1 day. Angel Reese has been out for the last week and a half. This past Saturday, neither of them played on the court. This past Saturday, Angel Reese said, not even worth my time, I'm not showing up. She stayed home.
Take the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, for example. In 2024, with Clark participating, it drew a record 3.44 million viewers. This year, with Clark sidelined by her injury, the game on ABC averaged just 2.19 million viewers, a 36% decline. That's still the second most watched All-Star game in league history, but the drop-off is telling. Peak viewership in 2024 hit at 3.3 million, but without Clark, it fell to 2.2 million, a loss of over a million eyes. ESPN even tried to spin the numbers positively in their graphics, but fans and analysts called them out for ignoring the obvious Clark factor. On social media, the conversation is exploding. X, formerly Twitter, is filled with posts highlighting the regret bubbling up in the league. One analyst pointed out that the WNBA's ratings tank without Clark, emphasizing that she's the primary draw. Another user shared stats showing a 50% drop in viewers during her absence, calling it a major reason behind the slump. Sports commentator Jason Whitlock didn't hold back, saying the league and players like Aya Wilson and Angel Reese tried to claim credit for the surge, but the reality check is here. The numbers don't lie. Even Christine Brennan from USA Today highlighted how more than half the TV audience vanished last time Clark was out, and it's happening again. Why is this happening? It's not just about one player missing games. It's about the WNBA's failure to capitalize on and protect their biggest asset. For years, the league has been criticized for its lack of marketing and star building. Clark changed that single-handedly. She brought in casual fans, crossover audiences from the NBA, and even international viewers. But the physicality of the game, some call it outright targeting, has led to her injury. Remember the flagrant fouls and hard screens she faced as a rookie? That chippy play continued into 2025, and now the league is paying the price. Analysts argue that if the WNBA had done more to shield their star from excessive physicality, this might not have happened. Moreover, there's an undercurrent of jealousy and resentment from other players that's hard to ignore. While Clark has been gracious and team-oriented, some veterans have downplayed her role, suggesting the league's success is a collective effort. But the data begs to differ. Games without Clark on NBA TV averaged just 343,500 viewers, down 40% from fever games with her. Rob Parker on the Odd Couple podcast went as far as saying the All-Star ratings drop of nearly 40% proves Clark is the only true draw, and the league owes her big time. Mark Lobliner echoed this, noting the WNBA has lost money for 25 years and prioritizes other agendas over profit, but Clark was changing that, until now. Let's talk about the broader implications. The WNBA's TV deals and sponsorships were booming thanks to Clark. Networks like ESPN and ABC invested heavily, expecting sustained growth. But with ratings crashing, those deals could be in jeopardy. Front Office Sports reported that even without Clark, overall viewership is up 21% year-over-year to 794,000 per game. But that's misleading. It's propped up by earlier games with her. Once you isolate the post-injury period, the crash is evident. Outkick highlighted how Sunday games without Clark and Reese, who was also out briefly, saw predictable drops. This isn't the first time the league has faced regret over Clark. Flashback to the 2024 Olympics. Team USA controversially snubbed Clark for the roster, despite her potential to boost global viewership. Attendance and ratings for women's basketball at the Paris Games were lower than expected, leading to whispers of regret from USA Basketball. Christine Brennan discussed this in interviews, noting how Clark's absence hurt marketing opportunities. Now, in 2025, history repeats itself with her injury. One ex-post summed it up: the WNBA will regret losing Caitlin Clark. But is there hope? The Indiana Fever have managed to stay competitive without Clark, winning a few games thanks to depth players stepping up. Clark herself returned briefly for 5 games post-initial absence, dropping 32 points in one outing. Fans are clamoring for her comeback, and when she does, expect ratings to surge again. However, the league needs to learn from this. Protect your stars, market them aggressively, and build around them. Otherwise, the regret will only deepen. Social media users aren't mincing words. One post called out the league for pressuring the Fever amid the ratings suffer. Another highlighted how interest is vanishing without Clark, with ratings hidden to mask the issue. Even critics like those on Reddit noted that plummeting ratings don't tell the full story, blaming so-called fans for only tuning in for Clark. But the truth is, Clark has elevated the entire league. Salaries are up, attendance is higher overall, and ignoring that is foolish. In terms of the bigger picture, this crash exposes vulnerabilities in women's sports. The WNBA has made strides, but relying on one player isn't sustainable. They need to foster more rivalries, like Clark versus Reese, and invest in storytelling. Yet, as one YouTube video put it, the real reason ratings tank without Clark is her unique appeal. She's must-see TV. The league's attempt to schedule 95% of national games around the Fever backfired when she got hurt. As we approach the playoffs, the question is, will Clark return in time to save the season? If not, the WNBA could see even lower postseason numbers. Analysts predict that without her, finals viewership might drop further, undoing years of progress. The regret is palpable. From executives to players, everyone knows Clark is the key. So there you have it, folks. The WNBA is feeling the instant regret as views crash without Caitlin Clark. Her injury has exposed just how vital she is to the league's success, and it's a lesson they can't afford to ignore. What do you think? Should the WNBA do more to protect stars like Clark? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe for more sports deep dives and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.